All right, Jim. Well, on the topic of lawyers, our next question, sent to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Doc in Davenport. I've heard the term locker room lawyer used, and it's hilarious. Every profession seems to have them. Any stories or names of some of the best legal minds in the business? The most infamous Clarence Darrow from your many tours of duty would be great, especially Smoky Mountain Wrestling and OVW. Thanks.
Well, I would like to say that it was grandiose as that. I don't know, maybe somebody else, somebody that was in promoting for 30 years or whatever may have a different viewpoint of this, but I don't think there were a lot of guys didn't get to be famous as locker room lawyers because that shit generally got shut down as quick as possible. But the idea, the concept of a locker room lawyer is basically there's always a guy in the locker room that when deals are coming out or somebody's deal's getting changed, or even before the days of contracts, just over payoffs or bookings, or we shouldn't have to do this or do that, the bookers and promoters would refer to them as locker room lawyers because they always not only saw the bad side of whatever deal was being presented, but also always had demands of their own, or it ought to be this way or it should be that way or whatever. And this was years long before actual lawyers got involved in wrestling, when there were actual contracts and things. So I don't know if I know one specific guy that had a shingle hung out or a PhD or a diploma from a major university in locker room lawyering. It just seems like there was always one around, and especially in WCW in the 90s or in the WWF when it was hot, it seemed like everybody at one point had taken some kind of lawyering course because they had and some of those guys are generally the ones that if you just dangle a push in front of them or some big spot or whatever, they would have signed their firstborn children away. But it wasn't them that was getting offered whatever was being offered. It was somebody else. That's why they were generally against it.
So let's get some names.
I mean, I can't think of anybody offhand that I'm going to brand publicly in front of. But Buddy Landell wasn't a locker room lawyer. Buddy Landell needed a locker room lawyer. No, there's a difference between being a locker room lawyer and just bitching about stuff or fucking up in general. No, this was more of the guy that would get in your ear and give you a whole bunch of ideas to take back about the deal that you were making that would get shot down or get heat on you. And then you'd go back and say, well, they fucking yelled at me. Well, you should have said it different.
Austin Idol.
Next question. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding the heartthrob.
Oh, darling.
You know, I would have liked to have heard Idol when all the other guys in Memphis were doing records, Handsome Jimmy and Lawler. What if they'd had Idol do Oh, Darling? Oh, darling, if you leave me, I'll never find anybody like you.
What if they had him sing Jackson?
Oh, I'm coming to Jackson. I'm going to mess around.
All right, this went nowhere. Let's move on.
This went absolutely. It came back around to where we started, didn't it?